Hi everyone, and welcome back to Trade Precision. This is Giles here, and it's Thursday morning. It's just after the open at 9 o'clock, and we've got a support level that we posted here at 101.48, and it's coming down to it just by a tick, and we're story of my life, missing it. And we're doing this for demonstration purposes, so you can see the type of calls that we make. There, we got. Well, we normally go with two, and we got one filled. We didn't get the other one filled just yet. I probably should cancel, but what's going to happen is the first one's going to. I hope I'm not screwing this up, but we'll let it go. We'll see what happens. See if the other one comes back down and gets filled. Might be. Oh, look at that! We got up enough so that it moved the stop to break even. That now we'll end up with nothing either way. Okay, we've got one long and one short at this price, but we have this set up, and so we'll go for 10 ticks on the first one. The Trade Precision live calls room is open every Monday through Friday. 9 until 2:30, and we have happy hour, which was kind of quiet today, from 8 o'clock until 9. And so another thing, we've got resistance already formed at 69, which is just one tick above the 20 ticks that we go for. So just so you know that we've got resistance that we've already formed. And we've mentioned that in the trading room already, or the live calls room, I should say. We've had a very good week so far, and I think this will just, hopefully, well, we're going to break even on this one anyway. This is our first call today. We also have our pro room going, and that's where people who understand and have bought the methodology and are using it themselves have it. And it's really wide open in there because I can talk more about the terminology and the system and everything that we can't do here. I think you just got to notice that we do this live. And there we go. We got filled there, and let's get our resistance in there. And now we're going to go for this thing to come back down, but this is a demonstration of a live call, or the last one was, and this is another one that we've made in the room. And if you come into the room, we have a 5-day free trial. You can see us do this every day, and we do this without the benefit of any indicators at all. It's all just looking at the charts, and once you there we got hit on that at 101.69. It was one tick above my 20 ticks. So, and I'm going to move this down and try to get as much profit as possible out of this. And the way I'm doing it, I start out with a 15 tick stop. If I get my plus 10, I'm moving my second right now to -9, so that I'm in a free trade. I'm going to look at next week in the videos, doing it a little bit differently, with maybe trail based on the previous bar, the previous 5-minute bar, or maybe we'll switch to 3-minute bars. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how's the best way to get the most profitability out of any trade. It's really hard. I got to say that I think our entries are just fantastic. That's half the battle, or even more than half the battle. That you have something that you have confidence that you can get in, and then it's how you work it. And I say that all the time while I'm in the room, is that you got to make this system your own. Any system, you got to make it your own. That's why I'm not a big fan of black boxes or proprietary indicators or things like that. Because how do you make something like that your own? I mean, even think about a MACD, I can read about it, but I don't know exactly what it is. I know what a moving average is, and I think I have an idea of an exponential moving average, but other than that, stochastic, I don't know what that is. You know, I know, I know, I know some of the things, and I went to engineering school, but I don't take the time to look at them. And this here, you don't have to look at anything. And there, we got it down. And there, we filled on the first one, and the second one goes to -9. So that means that the worst I can do, is 1 tick profit, which is enough to pay the broker. And that's just the cost of doing business. And I'm working a lot with a broker at Global Futures, and I think that would be a good thing for you. If you need some information, I can help you out. They've been very good to me, and their margins are really good, and their margins are really low, I should say, and their commissions are really good. So just if you need a broker to work with and you need a demo account or something just to get started, but really, you want to just then come into the trading room and look at our, we do this live. We do this live every day. It's just amazing. I'm going to try to lower this down some more, and we're almost, we get down to 49. Then 20 ticks is what we do, but we're trying to capture more of the profit than we're getting than we've been getting. Trying to see if we can get more than that. And we got down there, so we're now we're at 11 ticks, because that's it. We're trailing by 19, so we'd get 11 ticks total on this. Okay, we've been in this quite a while now. We got down even further. We got 30. We got plus 30 over plus 30. But we've only locked in now another 15 on this trade. 13 on this trade. So we went down from 69. That the stop is at 56. So we locked in 13 and 10. So we locked in 23 on this. And like I said, this is trying to come up with the best way to get as much. We don't know which of the calls we make are going to give us a runner, and which are just going to be the ones that are going to do, so much, do the 10 and 20 or whatever. So we keep on trying to fine tune it and come up with the right answer, and we're doing the best we can on that. So anyway, we're sitting in this. Like I said, the room is open from 8 till 2:30, and then we also have our pro room, and the conversation is a lot more lively there, and because people can talk about it. We're going to drop this down a little bit farther and see how much farther we can go on it. This is pretty good movement on this one here. Now we've locked in. Oh, we almost locked in our 20 ticks. Yeah, we locked in 24 ticks now, or something like that. On the second one, so it'll be 34 total. So we did a little better than what we do with that, and getting a little bit more. Not bad. And let this thing, just continue to try and trail behind it. And we're trailing at 19 ticks, and it's tough to do. I can see that. Psychologically, this is very tough to do, because that's. It's leaving $190 on the table. I mean, you don't have it, and you don't count your money while you're sitting at the table. But it's tough. It's tough to leave that much. But where do you set your profit target? That's a tough one. Where I'm going to set it is we've identified another support level, and in a little bit I'll get down to that. And that support level is at 101.98. We've got support down there. No, excuse me, 100.98. We've got support down there. So that's where I'm going to set my profit target at. Because like on this one here, we had resistance. We were in a long trade. We only got filled on one contract before, and then we reversed because we had resistance. Well, it's getting up close. That would be 28 ticks on this. So we got in at 69. So we'll see. We'll see where this one goes from here. It's getting back up. Yeah, I'm thinking about. Yeah, we're within 4 ticks of our stop. We make it stop that here with. Up. Now we're within 3 ticks of our stop. 2 ticks. This is not fun. So we sit and watch this. Like I said, I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do this going forward. And next week I'm going to do the previous bar. Have the stop 1 tick away from the extreme of the previous bar, either long or short. So we're just trying to come up with the best idea, to get you as much, because if you can take advantage of these runners, that's nice. Now there, it's moving back down again. Just barely missed it. That's great. Okay. Now, see if this thing runs down even more, and we're within like 25 ticks of our profit target. So we get in at 69. If we get down to that's like plus 70 on this trade, plus the 10 that we made. So it's an 80 tick trade, and it's all done. We started at probably about 9:10 or 9:15, and we've only been in this like for 20-25 minutes. And that's I talked yesterday in the room about that. We look at oil and gold because they move so much more than just like anything like come on, you can think of it like the ES. Like I used to trade the ES all the time, and there's just not the volatility. There's just not the movement on the ES. So that's why we stick more with oil and gold. We trade some. If the ES will give us something, we'll go with that too. We also go with the euro, and we look at the Russell. We look at whatever seems to be, and that's the benefit with no indicators. We're getting down towards that. You can finally see we locked in quite a bit on this trade. We've locked in 41 ticks on this, and going down some more. It's getting close to that target, and that's a target right there. Even like that swing low would be a good target. Around that 101.6, 101.7 would be a good target. Now it's coming back, and that's what's tough about it. Knowing where to exit is very, very difficult. See that? You're right there. You're right at that swing level. But we're trying for where we have another support level. In this case, we'll see. I headed back down and we tapped that number again. And then if you're people that took profit or whatever, they would be looking to get long at that 100 point. And then we filled. We went through it. We're stopped out. So with that, that's 70 ticks plus I said like 10 on the first one. So a real good example of what you can do if you can figure out how to trail behind and go for a profit target. There's a lot of unrealized gain that you may or may not be able to capture when you do that. So you have to figure out with your own psychology what works for you. But anyway, that's enough. We'll be back 8 o'clock on Friday morning. Finish out the week. It's been a great week at Trade Precision. We hope to see you in the room.